Tony Goulet here with my buddy Haig, and we're here. This is the first session, man.
First session.
First mind flush session. It's exciting.
I'm very excited. This is great. I love the name Mind Flush. It hits home for me.
Yeah, we talked about that, right? We didn't know what to call it, and like, yeah, it's always hard. What do you call these things? You know, I don't want to make it metaphysical or any kind of out of the word. Let's make it real. Let's make it real. What are we actually doing? And on the way here, I thought last time we got together, I said, oh, let's flush the mind. And then you told me this story, which blew my mind.
Yeah, when I was a little boy and I was, throwing a tantrum or stressed out or uncomfortable, just angry and didn't know how to deal with my emotions, as a little kid, my dad would walk me into the bathroom and he would make me look at the water in the toilet, clean toilet, and he'd make me flush the toilet over and over and over again, and I had to imagine all my problems, all my stress, all my anxiety, all my hurt and pain going down the toilet, flushing away. And it was to put like this visual on what I'm supposed to be doing with my mind and my emotions, and I wasn't allowed to leave until I felt better. Now the water bill was really high, but I felt really good.
I think it was worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that is such a wonderful tool, especially for a kid, because they need visual helps, things that help visually. Like everybody learns differently.
Absolutely.
Like you learn differently. You're a musician. I'm a magician. So we have similar but different things. You're very tactile because you have to feel the strings, and I'm visual because of the magic. But we learn differently. So that's why we're sharing stories with people out there that are going to helpfully click. One or the other will click and help them understand. First of all, that you're not alone. Everybody. I think a statistic I just read yesterday: 1 out of 3 people have depression or anxiety. So it touches. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And why is it happening? Because we're just bombarded with information and technology that's delivering information and stuff like that. So
we never flush it out.
We never flush it out. It builds in and builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. I'm 53 years old, so I got 53 years worth of flushing to do. That's a lot of water. My water bill's gonna be high. But you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah.
If it takes that much to do it, I'll do it. So I'm getting lighter. The last 2 years I started doing yoga and meditation, and it worked. And I was able to get off of medication, anti-anxiety medication, which is not very good. I mean, people out there probably take it. A lot of people take it. I think 1 in 5 people take it or more, anti-anxiety medication. And if you need it, of course, that's good. And don't get off of it without a doctor, of course. But it's nice not to have to use it.
I think it's more like use it properly as a doctor would prescribe it with the intention of getting better.
Yes.
Of getting off of it, the intention of getting healthy.
Yes, yes. Don't use it like, oh, this is the rest of my life. No, it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. 10 years on and off, I try to get off. I never knew how to get off. But that's why I was missing the proper, systematic way of doing it. Like, I was always trying to get to happiness, but I wasn't dealing with my body or my soul, I was just trying to get my mind right. So I always talk about those different things, and the pain of it actually is a blessing. We want to talk about pain today because that is really the kind of the alarm system that goes off that tells you something needs to be fixed. And for us personally, we met really because of pain. I felt like very connected to you because you were talking about your mom and the struggles of her health she was going through, and I felt that pain that you were going through. Mom is very, it's deep in your soul, your mom, she gave you life. So we talked, we're at a gym, we're at Gold's Gym working out, and you talk, and I go, wow, that's touched me. So we got to become better friends, and before you know it, here we are helping each other out.
Big time.
So the pain, is really a helping hand in getting you to the next level. I say, use the pain, don't let it use you. That's what I say. So that pain was very important to get us together, and for me personally, the pain of dealing with anxiety, I probably should have dealt with this probably 30 years ago, and I never did. It wasn't like fashionable, like, ooh, anxiety is normal. It's like, no, it's not.
It went from not normal and something you just pretend like wasn't there to something that everyone just has.
Yes.
And there's never been a solution along the way.
Right. I mean, there's different places, different solutions. Drugs are the simplest solution because doctors could prescribe it and go.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's almost too easy to go, oh, here's a prescription. But that's not long term, you know. When you become whole and you become more aware and conscious of your life, everything gets better. I always tell people, you think you'd be better off doing your job in a joyful way, or if you're stressed and full of anxiety, what's a better quality of life that you're gonna have? Yeah. Well, if you're joyful and light, That's why we're going to talk about these mind flush sessions, just literally flushing the mind, using tools to get things off your mind. We have more stuff in our minds than we ever will need.
Yeah.
Really. How much do we need to live? You know, we're surviving in a world is very comfortable. We don't have to carry spears and machetes and guns or arrows to survive, thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, we just got to live, you know, and just, I say, get out of the way. Don't get in the way of the body, the mind, and the soul, because it's, you know, it's a pretty well-run machine.
In that order as well.
Yeah.
I think, and I said that, I've said that to you multiple times. I like that order of body, mind, soul.
The body, yes, is important. It's the vehicle. It's like, I want to take a trip to somewhere. Well, the car better run. How bad do you want to get to that location? You know, we want, let's go to Disneyland. You know, we're in LA here, so let's drive an hour and a half to Disneyland. Well, if the car is not running, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
As bad as you want to go, if that car doesn't run properly, it's not going to go, or it's not going to be a very pleasant ride.
Yeah.
So, and I like talking about the body because, as we know, we're both in physical fitness and we like to work out. Everybody relates to the body because we see it. It's tangible, unlike our backdrop that we just put up, which we love.
Yeah.
We're talking about the universe and the planets. It's not, your mind can't really wrap your brain around it because it's so
just too much.
expansive. But so let's start small. Let's not start. We'll get into this later, but that's why we have this back here, by the way. I love the planets. It's happening right now. Nobody's talking about it. You know, Pete Holmes says that. Like, we're on a rock floating, and nobody talks about it. We're literally floating through the air, and it's true. So we'll get more of that. But let's start with the body, which we all understand. We feed the body. You know, we understand the pains of the physical body. So it's tangible.
Yeah.
We get into the mind. It's a little more fuzzy, a little more room for like fluctuation of thoughts. And then the soul then is a little more in depth.
Well, it's funny because like anxiety and stress is almost like physical pain. It's identical because, you know, with physical pain, oftentimes when we have something wrong with our body, we feel it. It's not, you know, it's not where it's hurting that's the problem. Something else is causing that pain from a different, you know, spot. Like it's almost like a crime. You wouldn't punish the victim of the crime. You'd find the culprit, right? So if this part of your body's hurting because something's messed up back here, you shouldn't be working on this. You know, it's like anxiety. Anxiety is that warning, that alarm system saying, hey, there's a different part of your mind or part of your life, something going on that needs to be worked on.
Yes. It's definitely a warning, but you have to be aware of that and just say, oh my God, I'm going to stop that anxiety. No, what is it from?
Yeah.
This is not ever, you know, taking people's ideas or thoughts and say disregard them. No, just say, what is it? There's a value in it. Let's talk about the value. You know, we'll talk about true life and synthetic life. There's two different ways to categorize things, right? Both are fine. True life is true life. Everything that's happening without our thoughts or any obligation of us doing anything. You know, we make jokes to each other, right? It's like, hey, no, check the gravity today, make sure it's fine. The gravity, make sure the oxygen levels are fine. Make sure the sun temperature is right. You know, make sure the photosynthesis is happening.
We're spinning at the right speed.
Yeah, check the speed, check the rotation. You know, we're 1,000 miles an hour roughly in spinning, and then the rotation is about 44,000 miles an hour. Check all. We don't have to think about that.
Yeah, we don't get to control that.
That's great. That's true life that we have no control over. Synthetic life is what we create. Unfortunately, we create pain. And that's what anxiety becomes. And then, like you said, anxiety manifests itself in the body.
Yeah.
It's really toxic. It's been proved that negative thoughts, anxiety, when you have too much of it, it becomes very toxic to your body.
It literally changes the way your cells absorb the nutrients you feed it.
Yeah, it shuts down everything, affects your sleep, affects everything. So the body, I feel, let's make this whole. You know, I would say, first of all, the obvious, don't abuse it with bad foods. I don't want to turn this into a health podcast or a channel, but the basic good stuff. You know, get rid of like the hardcore like coffees and sugars. Really pay attention, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you pay attention to what you eat, I'm very in tune with what I eat. Like I could tell if I eat too much, I feel it. I just feel it. So getting in tune with that is important. You know, that's important. The body is the vehicle to get you from A to B.
Knowing your limits and not purposely trying to get there. You know?
Right. And honoring the body. This is a incredible machine. It's like cannot be replicated, right? They make robots. Nobody could replicate this machine, and we never made it. We're just living in it. We're riding in it. Enjoy the ride. Get out of its way. Don't throw wrenches in it. Don't throw rocks at it. Don't throw glue on it. Don't get stuck in it.
It's so true. It's like every time we do those poor decisions, it's like we're throwing a wrench in it.
You're throwing a wrench in it. Yeah, just like
good luck.
Leave it. Leave the body. I say, look, if you cut your finger, You don't have to go, okay, please heal. Let's throw some magic powder on it to heal the cut, or the bone breaks. Oh my God, let's do some rich. No, no, the body has got it. It's such a advanced technology that we can't even understand. Just get out of the way. Just shut up and let it be. So the body, just really pay attention to that. We'll get into more depth of that as we go along.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll bring in people that have more specialized thoughts in the body. But it's the basics, man. Just drink water. We'll talk about, feeling
that's why
lighter.
It's first.
Yeah.
Because it is that basic. That's why it should be first.
That's why it's first. Yeah, the body. Yeah. So now, I get the body. I've dieted. It's not about diets. This may affect the diet here and there, but it's about just being healthy.
Yeah.
So the breathing and all the functions that we were just doing naturally, like I always tell people, how many times did you breathe today? Did you count? How many breaths did you take today? I didn't even know I took a breath. Thank God. Imagine if we had to think about breathing.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to talk. You can't. No, the heartbeat. Is the heartbeat beating? No.
Blood's pumping.
Pump blood. You don't have to think about it. Just don't get in the way. It's very similar to the universe in the world. That's an amazing thing. It's working by itself. Don't get in the way of it.
Well, it's amazing because the body's movement comes from obviously the brain telling it to move, and the brain's primary function is purely to move our body.
That's it.
So it's all, and this idea of anxiety and stress, comes from a lack of self-care. It feels, at least from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And if we learn how to respect the body, it's not about, like you said, it's not about dieting and all that stuff. It's just about, hey, I like me.
Yes.
I'm going to take care of me, and that's one step towards taking care of yourself, saying I'm allowed to like myself.
Yes. honoring yourself. Honor this.
I like that, honoring yourself.
Honor it. Honor the body. Honor what it's doing for you. If somebody says, I'm going to give you this machine that's going to take you around the world and you don't have to do anything with it, just give it a little food here and there. Oh my God, that's a great gift. Well, we're in it. We're in this machine that's been given to us.
A machine that can make all your thoughts somehow be possible.
Yeah, it's credible, right? And then the problem is we throw the wrenches in it with the thoughts, and that becomes anxiety and stress, and all these worries and little things that don't really affect us and help us in a positive way, and that becomes the wrenches that throw us into a turmoil. So the body is what we're going to be touching base on a lot in this channel and podcast. So we're going to have that also as topics through the times.
Yeah.
Then we talk about the mind. I always say the mind is the projector of your ego, because the ego needs to be projected.
Yeah.
The ego cannot be silent. It has to be outwardly. And it's unnecessary. The ego is really the creator of the synthetic world. And it's not always bad.
Yeah.
But when it gets to overwhelm you and control you, it is bad. But the ego is like a leech. It's a leech. The ego is a leech. Think of it that way. It can't survive without you feeding it either thoughts or ideas or things or levels or prominence or status. The ego needs these things to feed on, and like Artoli talks about that. Is like it's the pain body. It's like the issues and the bad things and negative. The ego loves that.
Yeah.
I have purpose, but if you start pulling everything away and realizing I really don't need anything, the ego's like, yo, what up?
Ego tests reality.
It does.
It's just constantly testing what's the actual reality of things.
It tries to get in, but it can't. So it creates things, because the reality of true life doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
But the ego is like, hey man, you need this. That person has that. You need a little more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it starts throwing these things. No, you're not good enough because blah, blah. So the ego loves it.
And you believe it.
You do, because you think about it enough. And we're surrounded by society that is really engulfed in it.
So how do we combat, believing it?
Well, I think you first have to set it up and say, okay, is this true life or synthetic life? Let's put it there. Now, I'm not saying one's better than the other. Well, true life is the ultimate life. It can't get better than that. But synthetic life is fine. I always tell my son, it's powdered sugar of life. It can come and go, blows away. But if you have it, it's fine. But don't have it all the time, because you start getting cavities and your health goes down.
Yeah.
So separating the two. Is it true life or is it synthetic life? So like I said before, true life is everything we don't need our thoughts for.
Yeah.
If it needs thoughts, now it's synthetic. So how important is that right now? Is it the end all? If you're able to start thinking about it that way, the panic starts to kind of slowly go away. It's like, okay, it's not the true life, so the earth's not going to stop. I'm not going to stop breathing. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be, okay, cool.
So it's like everything the ego presents, you question its significance.
Yes.
And the idea of, if it's not there, will I cease to exist?
That's a good way to start.
Well, if it's not there, will I be incapable of loving?
Right.
If it's not there, will I be incapable of being? And it's
Yes.
literally never the never the case. It's
no.
like it's fine.
Right. And when you do that, like you just said, then you say, okay, let me calm the mind.
Yeah.
When the mind is quiet, then you get the better answers. You're able to come up with the right answers and better answers. And sometimes you don't need an answer. Not everything has to be answered. Not everything needs an explanation. The most amazing things in the world are unexplained, like we just talked about.
The unknown is the most exciting part of life.
Right.
Synthetic life, honestly.
You don't need, we're so into having answers all the time
Yeah, instant.
that if we don't have one, we'll make one up. And that's where, bull crap, bullshit comes in, and, stories and conniving, and
that just builds. It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
It just builds and builds until
the
it starts
ego's
hitting
like,
everyone.
yeah, baby, come on, give me more food. It's just eating and getting bigger and stronger, and your body becomes like, and your ego becomes the controlling factor of your life.
So, I mean, what I think the difficult part is, if we're out living every day, right, interacting with people, that ego, we can sit down and we can question every interaction, like synthetic, true life, is it significant or is not?
Right.
But when we're scrolling, when we're on the computer, and there's constant algorithms like combating our own algorithm in our mind,
Right.
It's like there's no time to sit down and say, is this significant or it's not? We just build up until we fall apart, which I think, going back to the idea of pain is so important, because it doesn't have to be like, a bruise or a pinch.
No.
It's like if we're feeling overwhelmed, and anxiety is that signal. When you're scrolling too much and there's no time to think about whether it's true or synthetic, or, is it going to change my life? Is it significant?
Right.
Like that anxiety, that thing is becoming aware of that. That's just as much pain as like getting hit in the face,
Yeah.
Like, hey,
It can.
it's okay to feel this. Why am I feeling this? And if I could solve this, can I live without this, without whatever's causing it?
Is it really that important?
Yeah.
Really? Is it really going to change your life?
And that's the struggle even for my generation and younger, is like, we're not getting in fistfights at school anymore. We're getting, comments on our pictures.
I know.
And it's always there. And everyone else sees it.
It becomes like a giant cesspool of these artificial synthetic statuses.
Status is beautiful, yeah.
And you're competing. It's a competition. My son, I have a soon-to-be 13-year-old son, so I'm more conscious than ever about, oh my God, get that competition mentality out of it, But like you said, if you get on the computer, well, what I do, I say, okay, I'm going to work on my computer. I like to get all my stuff done by noon, business stuff if possible, on the computer.
Same.
And I say, this is what I'm doing. This is my business part of my life. It's not going to be, when I walk away, I leave it there. I'm going to do the best I can while I do it, but I'm not going to take over my rest of my life. So I go in, I do it, and I know that's the segment of it. And I go on Facebook, I do my business, I do my Instagram for my business and my products, I do all that. So, like yesterday I had a guy that had this comment, and at first I was like, what? And I backed off, and I commented very nicely, and I said, thank you for your input, this and that, and he responded, oh, thank you, and it turned out nice. So instead of me getting jumping at him, dude, don't say that, that's not cool. But I separated myself and said, really, what does it really matter?
Yeah.
It's not the end all.
Are you still breathing?
Yeah.
Is the earth still spinning?
Yeah. I call Haig. Haig, is the earth still spinning? Okay, checking. Just checking. I was like,
how's gravity doing today?
Yeah. And we'll have a list of that too. I want to present a list to everybody out there of the daily miracles. It's great to have because we don't think about it.
Yeah.
That's why you can say, well, but they're problems. I get it. I understand it. But it's not, to separate yourself a little bit. Give it some space so you're not reacting immediately. And that's usually not the right answer.
Well, see, I think that's something a lot to do, once again, with my generation and younger, is when we do feel it, it's like, what are we supposed to do with it? We need to learn to embrace it and say, hey, it's okay that I'm feeling this. It's valid that I'm upset.
Yeah. This
frustrated me. Am I going to let this totally make me crumble?
Right.
Is a different question. Don't try to ignore the fact that it bothers you, because it sucks.
It does.
Having this stuff, and it doesn't even have to be a negative comment. It's just the anxiety. I personally, if I scroll for too long, my eyes will start to shake.
Right.
And I'll start to kind of look around, what's happening?
Oh yeah,
I'll freak out. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't do that. It's okay that I'm feeling like this because I clearly just did it to myself. I'm this is what's happening. But am I going to let my entire day fall apart because I got a little anxiety in me? And so it's really interesting because it's like we have to be okay with feeling it, but then move forward with intention. Like that's the only way to combat the ego. At least for me, it's like there has to be an intention. Like when you sit down with your computer, I'm gonna do my work. I'm not gonna go do a bunch of see what happens.
Right. Yeah. You give yourself a time limit. I think for sure. I mean, don't people get drawn away. It's very simple. I mean, at Amazon, I'm shopping for something for my show or something.
Oh man,
it happens. It's like, oh my God, why am I looking at bubble makers? I mean, what? How did I? It does, but that's okay if you could pull out of it. It's like I call them the little road turtles, the road studs, on the sides of the roads. These are what we're going to offer. What we're talking about is we're driving and make it back.
Yeah,
it's okay. You're gonna hit the road turtle, road stud, whatever you want to call them. I like calling them road turtles. If you hit those road turtles, just get back. That is really the key, is not to stay in there, because then it gets deeper and darker and deeper and darker.
You don't have to be perfectly in the lane either.
Yeah.
Like they're there for a reason.
Yeah, you get a little room, yeah. Because nobody wants to be, that's slavery, that's imprisonment. If you're like this constantly. I say, you have to eat like healthy, 100%. Some people are fanatics, and it's like,
you have to never feel anxiety and never be upset.
No. That's the key, is like, the perfection is out the window because everybody's different. And the flexibility is the key to life, being flexible. But err on the side of the healthy side. 80% healthy.
20%.
Yeah, it's 80-20 is good,
Be a palm tree in a storm.
There you go. Take that win and come back, and it makes you stronger. But don't get into it. But separating it, I think, initially going, okay, is this the end of the world? No. Let me check the list of daily miracles. Yep. Oxygen's still going. Trees, yep. We still have clouds. We have the sun. Oh, the sunlight's good. Thank God the sun. If the sun was gone, we'd be in bad shape. I think within 24 hours we'd be a frozen block of ice, something like that, or even less.
Even less, yeah. It'd be like
so that's the sun's working, and then good. Oxygen levels, everything's good. Rotation's good. Gravitational pull, thank God, is working. Otherwise, we'd be bouncing our head on the ceiling right now. It'd be very painful. It sounds like a joke.
No, I'm laughing because it's so
I laugh too.
true.
It's good. You gotta laugh about it. It's so like amazing that nobody thinks about it. And now let's talk about the problem.
Yeah, like read off 3 of those and then take even like 30 seconds to think about each one.
Yeah.
Think about the sun for 30 seconds and then think about what's bothering you that day.
Yeah.
And ask yourself if it's still bothering you that much.
Right. And it'll put it in the right value. It's on the right level. It's not going to say it's not valuable at all. Of course,
it's always valid. It's what we feel.
Yeah. We're not discounting anything that you feel, but like, how valuable is this?
Yeah.
If you could feel that and separate it, I always say to people, like, if you take a hot air balloon ride, oh my God, it feels so good. You're looking down, you're about 2,000 feet up maybe, and you're looking down. Everything looks so small and pleasant, and all that stuff is happening down there. But the space that you're away from it is causing this relaxation because you're not in it. It's like, that's all you do. We're trying to create space. That's all I want to do is talk about how to create space and silence in the mind, because then you can enjoy life. Because the most amazing things are silent. We don't hear the moon. We don't hear the sun. We don't hear the air, the oxygen being made. We don't hear the dirt. We don't hear the minerals. It's happening right before our eyes in perfect silence.
I saw this video one time. I think it was a psychologist or a therapist was working with a client and took a string and put a giant circle around them. It wasn't huge, probably about a 6-foot radius. And then they said, I want you to tell me how you feel. And I feel good. And then the therapist stepped into the circle without asking, how do you feel? Feel anxious, a little uncomfortable. Stepped back out. How do you feel? I feel good. And then the therapist asked, can I come into your circle? He thought about it. He said, yeah, sure. Came in. He's like, I feel fine. And it's like, it's literally just the good visual of just creating the right amount of space between you and everything else, and realizing like you can have that space. I loved that. I thought that was so great.
That is good. That is very important. That's a detachment, not allowing people to be part of it. Involvement with other people, because that's what yoga is about, means unity. Yoga is not really about the physical element. I mean, I like it because that actually forces you to become quiet, to focus. It's the physical element is really to focus.
It's brutal too.
Yeah, it forces your mind to slow down, but yoga's meaning, like I do Sadhguru Isha Foundation style yoga. He talks about yoga is not the body; it's about becoming unified with everything and everyone. So you can only do that when you slow down the mind and you just stop it, and you can just feel it and be present. So that's what it is. It's allowing people to be part of it. Doesn't mean you have to invite them over, but just realizing we're all the same.
Yeah.
We're all the same, and we're getting more and more the same now with all this anxiety in the world and stress and depression, because it's coming to a head. We're all the same beings being affected by the same things. So the compassion of that, the love, loving awareness. Ram Dass talks about loving awareness. Wouldn't you love everything that's a miracle? How could you? You're a miracle. You're a living, breathing. I have no idea how that works. I can't figure it out. You can't figure out this. Everything else around you. How'd they build that guitar? You have beautiful guitars in there. That's incredible how that wood was actually made, and where that wood come from. It came from the earth, but wait a minute, they manipulated it and turned it into this, and the strings, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
If you really think about what is happening around us, if you're in awe, how could you not be in joy?
Yeah.
We're in joy. Enjoying the ride is the only thing we can do, because we can't explain the immensity and the awesomeness of what's happening.
And no matter how much you can explain, eventually you'll hit a point where you can't.
Right.
The deeper you go, eventually it'll be to a point where I can't explain that.
Yeah. Get the best scientists in the world. They're going to tell you a bunch of stuff. They'll sell you stacks of books. They'll show you stacks of books and thousands of pages.
It's wonderful. Like, I love science. It's one of my favorite things. And it's one of the things I enjoy, the fact that we have that ability. But eventually we get to a point where we have to accept that we're just not going to know.
No. There's so much beyond, like, the depth of the infinity.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. And I love that. That's
so
the beauty.
cool.
That is so humbling, and it's so leveling, because it puts us all on the same level.
But what's crazy is now that concept, if you think now it's an anxiety, like, oh my God, it's too big, it's the abyss. And it's like, if we can switch that to becoming something of, I love that it's the abyss.
Yes.
I love that it's never ending.
It's freeing, because we have nothing to do about it. We don't have to worry about it.
There's no responsibility.
Right. We have work. We got to show up for work. We got to put gas in the car. We got to cook.
But on this level, no way.
Just enjoy it. Just you go outside right now and enjoy it. It's always there for you.
I love it.
That's the key. Is I think when you get people to start thinking about that more, and not worrying about all their daily things, it's not diminishing what they are, but it's putting them in their place.
Yeah, knowing what stacks they go in.
Right.
My girlfriend told me one time, she's like, you need to take all your problems and imagine them as albums, as CDs. She's like, don't have your CDs all over the place. Stack your CDs with the stacks they go on. This is this kind of artist. This is this kind of band. This is this. Of course, that worked for me because I'm a musician.
Yes.
And I love that, because I always think about that. Like, what CD is this problem? Which stack does this go into? Is it the true life stack? Is it the synthetic life? Is it life altering? It's just, you know what? This kind of bothered me today. I'll put that one there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll deal with this week. This is something after, Right. Yeah, like that, choosing the value of it, finding the value of it.
Or if it's totally no value and it's not, and it's baloney and bull crap, you just flush it down the toilet.
Yeah, flush it down the toilet.
I love that visual.
Yeah.
I got to tell my son that tonight. I forgot to tell him that story.
You know what? As an adult too, it's not a bad idea.
No, I think
it's like this. It's amazing.
This is really why we're here, because there's so many tools that we're going to share, that some tools click with other people,
Yeah.
others. It's just making it work, man. I just want one person that could walk out of here and walk away from this eventually and say, I feel free. Wow. What a wonderful feeling, just to know that you're able to just help at least one person. That's all. That's all it is about. It's like I found a gold treasure and I want to share it, because it's endless. I don't own any of it.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just showing it to you.
Yeah, it was already there.
Yeah, I didn't find a chest of anything, but I just said, my God, all the years of this anxiety that I grew up with, and, being Italian and very, not kind of strict, but just kind of just wacky in different worlds in the neighborhood we lived in. There's so much stuff that, like everybody else deals with. Looking back, oh my God, I never had the tools to deal with it.
Yeah.
Everything was up here. Everything was like, oh my God, this is so important.
Yeah.
Like you said, how do you deal with it? Well, look at the issue. My glasses broke. Oh my God, no, it's my glasses broke. It's okay, so I'll have to go get them fixed. And I have to get them done, whatever. But don't make it the end of the
You can
world.
get them fixed, stressed out and anxious, or you can get them fixed totally fine, calm,
Exactly.
and happy.
Right.
They're still getting fixed at the end of the day.
Yep, that's true. Or sometimes you could go, like, sometimes something broke in my house, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's weird, and calm down and look at it and go, oh, I can actually fix that.
Yeah.
If I didn't look at it close enough, it'd be like, ah, no.
It's over.
The answers come at a calm, good things come in calmness,
You can't see, what is it, the water analogy? They use it in that, do you ever watch the Kung Fu Panda movie?
I watched the first one. Yeah, we watched the first one.
You remember when he's talking about the water and how when he touches the water and when it's all shaken up, you can't see through it. But when it's still, you can see all the way to the deepest parts of it.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
That's life now. Imagine how much waves we have going.
Just calm the mind, flush the mind.
We gotta wait. Yeah, that's just calmness. I think that's the key, is the calmness of it all. And that's
stillness.
Yeah, the stillness, the calmness, and it's not being quiet. It's mentally and physically combining those two things. It's not one or the other. That's why I'm saying all these elements, the body, the mind, the soul, have to work together.
Yeah.
They have to, because they are already.
It's already happening.
We just got to clean it up. It's like the circuits are like getting all like gunked, you're like electronics. You have that spray stuff you spray on electronic wires to clean them.
Yeah.
We're all wired, man. We didn't do anything. Don't take credit for it.
Yeah.
Just let's clean it up. Let's not screw it up. Let's lighten it up. Lighten the load.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. It's motion. You had a great quote. Life is.
I asked a very good friend of mine. I asked him one day. I was like, "What do you think the meaning of life, the purpose of human life is?" And without hesitating, he said, "Movement."
Yeah.
Everything is movement.
Yeah. It's movement. It doesn't have to be outwardly. We're moving right now. Heart's beating, lungs are pumping, blood is flowing.
Yeah, everything in the world, even the atoms in front of us, we can't see. Everything is movement.
Yeah.
Because it's constant production of energy. Mm-hmm. Use of energy, production of energy. It's not. I can't even say that because energy is not created or destroyed. It's just this like tapping into energy constantly is movement.
It's all movement. Look at a little cell on a plate, on a petri dish. There's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. Even a tree. There's the molecules.
So why should our mind be any different? It's constant movement.
Right.
But if we can find the calm stillness within the movement, allow it to flow,
right.
Flow naturally.
Yeah, I think when the mind gets out of the way, then it allows true life to come through it. And that's where the soul comes from, because the soul is like, people don't know what the soul is, or God. It's like, well, really, it's the source. I call it the source.
I like that, the source.
Yeah. What is the source? Well, it's the same energy. It's running all these planets and the orbiting the planets and the stars and this and that, and the same thing that's pumping our hearts and our blood, like in the oceans, and
it's the source.
It's all the same. So call it what you want. I don't know what it is. I'm just enjoying it now.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't want to worry about it, trying to figure it all out. I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's beyond my mind. I'm here to enjoy. How fun was that, man? I'm going to throw you into this situation that there's some incredible stuff going on, man. Yeah. Just eat and sleep and have a little, have a job, do some fun stuff, but enjoy this giant thing.
Yeah.
How lovely, how beautiful that is. So, but that's what we're here for. That's what we're going to continue doing. And we'll get more in depth as we go, and maybe bring in some friends and speakers in to talk about certain areas.
Absolutely.
But I just invite everybody just to stay with us, subscribe, and it's a place to come and hang with us, man. Just hear stories of and situations that we're going through, that we've been through, that we overcame. That I think most people are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're the average person that's just dealing with life. We want love. We're all looking for the same thing. Sadhguru says a great thing. He says, people that go to the bar, people that go to the church or the temples, or people that go to a place to take drugs, they're all looking for the same thing. Freedom. They all want freedom. They're using whatever means they have to get to freedom. So take the way that's going to be the lightest and less abusive to yourself, and that's really doing nothing, and that's not being non-responsive. Being nothing means get rid of this. Don't let the mind project the ego.
Don't get in your own way.
Right. The ego needs the mind as a projector, literally as a projector, to outwardly show what I have. Just think about it. If you cut that ego out, you don't have to project anything. You do it for yourself.
Wow.
I don't, you still take care of yourself. You still make yourself be healthy, but you're really doing it for yourself. There's no outwardly motivation. And then what happens? All of a sudden, you talk about these kids, right? They're all comparing, but the ego, if that's removed or lessened even, I'll take that.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter how many likes. I mean, Instagram, I love it. They just took away their numbers of showing you how many people like their video,
They
the
only
post.
did that for a few people.
Yeah, they took it away, and now we don't. It's not comparing it to other people now. So it's kind of cool, but do it yourself. Don't wait for technology to do it for you.
I think you said something really important. Is like it's not about completely getting rid of something. It's about lessening it. Like
Yeah.
this shouldn't have this much power. This is a part of me.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily negative or positive. It's
Yeah.
a part of me, but it can become negative or positive depending on what I feed it.
Exactly.
It's the natural parts of us that we need to pay attention to. The ego is always going to be there. It's a part of us as humans. It's a natural order in us.
Right.
What are we doing with it though? Are we going to feed it all day so it's this monster? Or?
No, don't let it overtake your life. It's there, and let it be dormant. And if it needs to come up for a reason, then put it back where it belongs.
Yeah.
Use it. Don't let it use you. Again, the same thing. Computers, use them. Don't let them use you. Fear, use it. Don't let them use you. Let that ego go to sleep because you don't need it. Just imagine how beautiful it would be not to even have that in your body at all. That's the key. Keep it out of you as much as you can.
Yeah.
Like Eckhart Tolle says, the pain body, it feeds the ego that loves negativity. So that's what I think. It's just keep that lightness and keep it a game. Why shouldn't life be fun and enjoyable? Don't make it so serious, man. Just if things happen that are serious, that's different. You deal with those things, but normally we're pretty good. We're pretty good. So enjoy it, baby. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
And then we'll continue with these conversations and getting into more in-depth tools as we go.
Absolutely.
But thanks, everybody, for watching. And
we'll see you next time.
See you next time. And I think I will love a little music.
Oh, all right.
A little cue music here. Let's try a little bit with these beautiful guitars here. That's awesome. I'm going to give this a microphone so we can hear it even better. I'm going to put it close to your guitar to send us off. A little bit of music. Haig is an amazing artist. Here we go. Thank you, buddy. Enjoy the ride, everybody. Enjoy the ride. That's all we can do.